Hey guys, welcome to today's Vehicle Visionary. Today is July 12th of 2021. Now why do I give the date? Well, that's because the Honda Odyssey Elite that we're going to take a look at today is not a 2021, it's not a 2022, it's not even a 2020, it's a 2016 model. And you might wonder, why a 2016 model? Well, that's why I gave the date. As you likely know, if you've been looking for a brand new vehicle, well, they're a little hard to find right now on the car lots because of, well, a multitude of different issues, mainly the computer chip issue with the plant burning down a few months ago. That hopefully will all be resolved soon. But what that has ultimately done is caused used car sales to go up compared to what they were at one point, say, a year ago, just because of things such as the shortage of those chips. So you don't have to wait as long, obviously. You can still order a brand new vehicle. It's just that the inventories on the lots are a little bit thin right now. One of those things. So I decided we're going to take a look at a good used model today. And this 2016 Odyssey Elite has over 91,000 miles on it. We're going to get to give a good road test and see exactly how it drives with high mileage. But I'm also going to show you the features that it has that are comparable to even the 2022 model. And it does have one thing that you can't get on a 22 model of the Odyssey. With an exterior color of modern steel, in 2016, the Odyssey was said to have an estimated MPG of 19 miles per gallon city, 28 out on the highway, and highlighted features include a navigation system, entertainment system, blind spot sensor, lane departure warning. You'll find leather upholstery, automatic temperature control, and a power moonroof. And I know a lot of people don't like the word moonroof, so we'll say, well, you can say sunroof if you wish to, and wireless phone connectivity as well. On the front-wheel drive Odyssey, you will find 18-inch alloy wheels, fog lights on the front end to accent the headlights, making it easier to navigate and see your way around after dark, speed sensing steering, heated power side view mirrors, and yes, for those who tend to ask me if I don't say yes, there are turn signal indicators built into those side view mirrors. And speaking of the engine, what exactly is under the hood of this model? For the 2016 model year, the 3.5 liter V6 that is under the hood of this Odyssey was a little bit different as far as the numbers go. 248 horsepower and 250 pound-feet of torque and a 6-speed automatic transmission. So some differences there. We'll see what I can tell as far as the differences between the newer models that I've driven over the course of the last roughly 3 years of making these videos on the Vehicle Visionary YouTube channel, and what this particular model is like to kind of help if you're on the fence, maybe trying to make a decision of whether or not this is something you want to buy. And something that I thought was interesting as I opened these power sliding side view doors, by the way. Side view doors? That's one thing that'll make you raise one eyebrow or turn your head like a dog hearing a new sound. By the way, they of course open on the driver and passenger side, and if you're curious, here is a look at what the remote looked like in 2016. Really not any different than you see in 2021 or 2022 for the most part. But here's the thing, I promised myself I would never do a video with one of these Odysseys on arm day at the gym, which I did work arms today, and remove these middle row seats, which, by the way, they are completely removable. There are 3 seats here, and you can remove all 3 to maximize cargo space, and we'll show how else you can do that in the rear shortly. But I'll say this, these seats are lighter than what you have in the 2021 or 2022, which I have also removed the seats out of those as well. I don't think it's so much that I'm stronger than I was in prior videos, or maybe I am, but I think these seats are just lighter. And here's how you move the seat forward, what lever you pull on, what latch you use to move the seat forward and make access easy to the rear seat area. As you would likely expect, yes, you do have a power rear door. I'll step aside to let that open. And you do have the stowing magic rear seats, the same as you would find in the current generation of the Odyssey back here. And also what I call a multitasker. When those seats are in their upright position, which by the way, they are reclining seats, so your rear seat passengers can get as comfortable as possible. You can use this area down here where you stow those seats as a multitasker, whether it's putting the middle row seat from those middle row seats back here in the rear, because you might not want to leave it at home and risk somebody damaging it or just whatever might happen to it. Or if you have an unruly passenger, you could also put them back here in the rear, although I might not necessarily recommend that. But one thing you'll find here on the 2016 model that you will not find on the 2022 model is the Honda Vac that has been completely deleted as an option for 2022. Still available on this model if that's something you wish to use. How effective is that? By the way, you can actually reach all the way to the dashboard in the front seats if you wish to. That's how long that hose actually is. And here in the front seat, it's probably a little bit easier to show you for the most part what all is here. You do have push button start, and you have the shifter right here that is not push button. Tell me down in the comments what you prefer. Do you like the more traditional style shifter? Do you like its location? Would you rather see it on the column down here on the center console, or are you good with it being right there where it is? A quick look at the dashboard for 2016. You've got, of course, your steering wheel mounted controls. And yes, in 2016, on the left-hand side of the steering wheel, you did have that thing called the turn signal lever that is the most underused option that anybody has on their vehicles, at least here in Northwest Louisiana. But there it is. It works the same way in 2016 as it does now in 2021, just in case you're wondering. Here on the test drive, one thing I've noticed with this being the highest mileage Odyssey I've ever driven, it really doesn't drive any differently than a brand new model. That's pretty impressive and honestly a little bit surprising. The steering is the same, the ride quality is good. It just doesn't feel like it has over 90,000 miles on it, honestly, at least in my opinion. And even the acceleration is not bad, even though it's not as much horsepower. The transmission is different than what you would get in a 2021 or 2022, or of course this previous or current generation, I should say. I could tell a little bit of a difference in the way this Odyssey accelerated with the 6-speed transmission as opposed to the 10-speed. That's not a bad thing necessarily, but what that does mean is just you might tell a difference if you've driven the two, but it still gets down the road just fine. And yeah, I realize there's going to be some variations in how a vehicle drives and handles and does all of the things that it does, depending on how the previous owner or owners, I don't know if this was a one owner or what the story is behind it, but obviously there are going to be differences. But I have to say, I'm very impressed. This one was obviously very well taken care of, and it's pretty much in a lot of ways identical to the current generation. So easy to see out of, it accelerates well, doesn't have, like I say, not quite as much horsepower, but still not lacking. You still have the adjustable steering wheel, tilt and telescopically. But one thing I have to say here that really surprised me, and I haven't gone back and researched when the auto stop start feature started. Obviously it was with the current generation of the Odyssey, but you won't find the auto stop start feature here on this 2016 model. Just something that I observed, because that is one of my favorite features to turn off, because obviously it saves your starter. And if you're wondering about that, you're not going to save enough gas with that feature to justify using it. And there might be situations to where it's better than others, but honestly, for the fact that every time you restart the engine, and somebody actually asked this question in a previous video when I talked about this, are the starters beefed up when you have that feature? No, they're not. They're no different. So you're definitely going to use the starter up quicker than you would otherwise. Just something to consider. But I definitely have to give high marks on this particular Odyssey, depending on what you look at and what you drive and its history. Obviously, there's going to be some differences from one to another, but this model, if you live locally and this is something you're looking for, I would definitely consider coming into Holmes Honda and checking it out. If you happen to want to know more about this particular Odyssey, check out the link down in the description of the video. Got to say a special thanks to my friends at Holmes Honda for loaning me this model for the day, and all of you for being kind enough to take the time to watch. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more, check out what is on your screen right now. I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.